No, I'm not muted. Hey, Eric. You're excited. Harris does really well against Trump and love a former prosecutor going up against a convicted felon in an election about law and order. Yeah, there's that. I mean, they damn well better nominate Biden. I mean, Harris seems hard to switch. Because if they overlook her, whoa, there'd be hell to pay. We're gonna have to clean house when this all washes out in a big way. Corporate Dems, entrenched Dems. Okay, your stream's back up? Okay. I'll switch that over there. Okay. So if you're just joining, Bruce and I are trying out something new. We're simulcasting on both of our channels, Political Brain, as well as my own right here, LMTVLive. Normally on Sunday, I just do silliness, don't talk politics if I can help it, but this is an historic day in an historic friggin' month, in an historic friggin' year, in an historic friggin' decade. Whatever that saying was, may you live in interesting times. Yeah, it is a curse. Oops, darn it. Didn't mean to do that. If I'm muted on Chris's stream, I don't know why, but I'm not muted on my own stream. Oh, okay, I can hear me. You can all watch me chewing my gummy. There you go, human. Okay, good. Now I gotta get used to this program where the chat starts at the top. Hey Z, hey Bill, hey Doc. Yeah, we're early. Oh, come to who is pushed. Well, Z, we have to get Michigan. I thought it was the main. Eric says doesn't have issues with big donors speaking their minds or not donating. They try to buy the ticket. That's a bigger issue. Yeah, well, I think they are trying to buy the ticket. There's human. Good hearing about Willie Brown again. For the weeks and months that come for Trump to call her a slut and screwed her way to the top. Yeah, that's the thing. Be prepared for all the misogyny and racism. John says he's having a little bit of panic, but after seeing over on the White House channel where all the maggots hang out, the maggots are freaking out more. That makes it feel better that the maggots are freaking out more than we are. Okay, I'll take that. I might need to make another coffee soon. Benny! Yeah, yeah, fucking sucks. Fucking sex! Fucking facts! Fucking fuck! Stinks! Gosh, we're just gonna keep those factories behind us. Yeah, just. Very angry damn leaders of press Joseph. Yeah. Yeah, I just hope Kamala or whoever the nominee is will keep Biden's agenda pushing forward. It's a very good first 100 days agenda. Ewan says they haven't been given the new talking points from Russia yet. God. I'm really surprised. Yeah, Kamala spent a lot of time on college campuses lately. She's been well received, and I think she may get the kids excited. Yeah, but we were already like not excited, but really strongly behind Joe and firmly for him, and you know we'll all back Kamala, of course, but it was still stupid timing. But I guess how many days are left now? 60 something, barely 2 months to the election. When's the goddamn DNC? Next month? Wait a minute, we're in July, August, September, October, no, 4 months to the election and another month till the DNC. Yes, see, Kamala is endorsed by Biden. If that matters. I don't know what other names have been seriously floated. I mean, there have been other names floated. Better not be goddamn Adam Schiff. I gotta turn off my camera again for a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Had to help Mom with something. You surprised if Shift beats Garvey now, Bill? Yeah, Dis, he was that good. He scared the crap out of everyone with his promises. Bill says this is bad, really bad. The anti-Biden Dems will suffer backlash at all polls. Anti-Biden Dems? Trump's going to stroll through our majorities in Congress. Yeah, I'm really worried about the Congress and the Senate. It's really upsetting. Darla, how you doing? Over on Bruce's stream, how are you?
A Kamala Harris advertisement.
I can share Bruce's chat too. Oops, hang on. Go. Okay, we got two chats going here. I gotta make this one larger. Oh, look at that! We can see all the chats. Okay, Bruce, let me turn off that music.
When she was running for the president, a Kamala Harris advertisement from when she was running for the president of the United States painted a very clear picture of her versus Donald Trump. And I guarantee you, Donald Trump and his team right now are shaking in their boots because he's going to have to debate this woman.
Sick of this? Well, think about this. He's a world leader in temper tantrums. She never loses her cool. She prosecuted sex predators. He is one. She shut down for-profit colleges that swindled Americans. He was a for-profit college.
At Trump University, we teach success.
Literally. He's owned by the big banks. She's the attorney general who beat the biggest banks in America and forced them to pay homeowners $18 billion. He's tearing us apart. She'll bring us together. This is Trump. And in every possible way, this is the anti-Trump. So if that's what you're looking for in your next president, there's really only one. Kamala.
That advertisement.
Guys, I'm going to play that again because people were saying they couldn't hear it. And you want to hear this, trust me.
A Kamala Harris advertisement from when she was running for the president of the United States painted a very clear picture of her versus Donald Trump. And I guarantee you, Donald Trump and his team right now are shaking in their boots because he's going to have to debate
because
this
people were
woman.
saying they
Sick of
couldn't
this?
hear it. And you want to hear
Well,
this,
think
trust
about
me.
this.
Kamala Harris
He's a world leader in temper tantrums.
for the president of the United States.
She never loses her cool. She prosecuted sex predators. He is one. She shut down for-profit colleges that swindled Americans. He was a for-profit college.
At Trump University, we teach success.
Literally. He's owned by the big banks. She's the attorney general who beat the biggest banks in America and forced them to pay homeowners $18 billion. He's tearing us apart. She'll bring us together. This is Trump. And in every possible way, this is the anti-Trump. So if that's what you're looking for in your next president, there's really only one. Kamala.
That advertisement is beautiful, and it just goes to show you how Kamala Harris is going to destroy Donald Trump in November. Donald Trump, the child versus the prosecutor. Donald Trump, the sex predator versus the hero who saves us from sex predators. Donald Trump, the fraud versus the prosecutor who goes after and saves the American people from the frauds. Donald Trump, the corporate shill versus the woman who protects Americans from corporate greed. Donald Trump, the divider in chief versus the woman who represents not only half of America, and women, but also minorities. I mean, if you don't love the matchup of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, then I don't really know what to tell you, because Americans from corporate greed. Donald Trump, the divider in chief, versus
I
the
just
woman
want
who
to know what
represents
you
not only
guys
half
thought
of
about
America
that.
and women, but also
That ad.
minorities. I mean,
For a little
if
hope in your day
you
of
don't
gloom.
love the matchup of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, then I don't really know what to tell you, because Americans from corporate greed. Donald Trump, the divider in chief, versus
I
the
just
woman
want
who
to know what
represents
you
not only
guys
half
thought
of
about
America
that.
and women, but also
That
minorities.
ad.
I mean,
For a little
if
hope in your day
you
of
don't
gloom.
love the matchup of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, then I don't really know what to tell you, because Americans from corporate greed. Donald Trump,
I don't know what's going on with my feet. I hope you guys could hear all that, but yeah, that's what's up. That's
women, but also
that ad.
minorities. I mean,
For a little hope in your
if
day
you
of
don't
gloom.
love the matchup of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, then I don't really know what to tell you, because Americans from corporate greed. Donald Trump,
I don't know what's going on with my feet. I hope you guys could hear all that, but yeah, that's what's up. That's that ad.
I mean,
Hope in your
if
day
you
of
don't
gloom.
love the matchup of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, then I don't know what to tell you, because Americans from corporate greed. Donald Trump,
I don't know what's going on with my feet. I hope you guys could hear all that, but yeah, that's what's up. That's
Yeah.
that ad. Hope in your day of gloom.
love the matchup of Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, then I don't know what to tell you, because Americans from corporate greed. Donald Trump,
I don't know what's going on with my feet. I hope you guys could hear all that, but yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
In your day of gloom.
Yeah, Billy, you need to rest. This is bad. But we gotta get behind the ticket. No, we heard it. This is bad. But my stupid audio keeps repeating on me. We are trying here. Danny hasn't rested in 9 years. Only one rest will suit you at this point. Yeah. Damn it. Don't talk that way. Angela. Scary times for sure. Dems fucked everybody. Stupidity. And if they don't go with Kamala, then I I'm definitely saying, well, fuck this, because I can't. I'm a Canadian, and we got our own election to think about here, and defense and everything else with the Russians coming through the Arctic. I should be spending a lot more time on Canadian politics. Once this election is done and over, and hopefully we see the back of the Orange Menace, you guys can fight off his minions. Hey, yeah, very disappointed right now. Come here for the technical expertise. Thanks, Eric. Gloria asks, who was the guy in the video saying Trump's sitting over the Biden news? Do you know what channel his is? Trump's sitting over the Biden news. I'm not sure what you mean, Gloria. All I heard was Trump came out like 20 minutes after Biden did, and his thing was, so they kicked out Joe, and now it looks like I have to do it a fourth time. What, a fourth time? What is he talking about? A fourth what? I mean, this is his third race. What is he talking about? Fourth knockout Kamala? But he didn't knock out anyone yet. Like, I don't know what he meant by have to do it a fourth time. Pelosi needs to resign. God damn it. I thought she was gone when they gave her portrait and everything. And thank you, Nancy, after January 6th. I thought she was gone, but no, she was still she's still a sitting House member and everything. So I just don't know. All I can say is it's the donations, it's the money talking. It's gotta be the money and the fucking media, which is one and the same. I really don't know if I'm going to be making a lot of sense today. I'm just going off of you guys' comments. Yeah, I agree, Angela. If they don't get behind Harris, they need to be primaried or in the next elections. God damn it. I wish I had something really insightful to say about all this, but I do not. Yeah. I've been streaming MSNBC for 4 years now. Yeah, because Joy Reid had her 4th anniversary, and I've been streaming her for 3 years. So I've been doing MSNBC streaming on YouTube and Twitch for 4 or 5 years. Over 4 anyway. Must be close to 5. But in the last year or so, I've seen a lot of slips on NBC, and not. Well, I mean, it kind of started when Rachel went her own way, more or less. Went back to just Mondays. And then they got rid of a few other good hosts. I mean, I really like Brian Williams at 11 o'clock. His dry humor and everything, and his tone. It just, he always calmed me down. But yeah, so they got rid of hardball guy, Chris Matthews. I wasn't terribly fond of, and he spit all over people and interrupted them. But they've still got Hayes, who's excitable as hell, and Alex Wagner is boring. Stephanie Rule is good, but she's not at that time of night, guys. I'm sorry, I don't like her at 11 p.m. energy. Lawrence O'Donnell has still got it. When we have Rachel, we have Rachel. Joy's still great. I don't watch Morning Joe. Can't stand Joe, but I hate what they did to him after the shooting. Him and Mika. Nicole Wallace is an ex-Republican who has 2 hours to interview everybody at her husband's newspaper, the New York Times, and We all know what we think about the New York Times these days. It's a friggin' mess. Where can we go for real news? Political Drain, Midas Touch, all those other good folks out there doing their best to bring it straight, not sugarcoat it, and not beholden to all of that influence yet. Ha! I saw that the Young Turks had Rudy Giuliani on the other day. I didn't look at it because I didn't think I could stand Giuliani and Cenk and Anna all at the same time. But I might look at it later. Hey, Miker, pink hand waving. How are you doing? You were right. You had that bad feeling, but I mean, the election's not over, but it could be completely right about where it's going to end up. We shall see. We shall see. Love you guys on the Political Drain chat. Welcome. We're trying this new thing out. Usually on Sundays, I do my thing on my channel, not political, just silly fun. But today's different, very different. Bill says they had no plan. Curious who the down ballot Dems that called for this will blame when they lose. Yeah. Ari, oh yeah, Ari's been a piece of shit since about a month after October 7th. Yeah, I used to, okay, Ari with the stupid rap jokes and whatever else he does that's annoying. But yeah, lately he's been very not a Dem. Oh, poor Fergus, I'm sorry. I'm trying to sneak pieces of matted fur out of Fergus's back when he's not expecting it. Poor cat. He won't let me comb him, so I have to sort of use my fingers and pull out the clumps of his matted fur so he's not too hot, because it's summertime. What is the temperature here? It's clouded over, and it says it's 26 degrees Celsius, but it's probably slightly warmer than that. Hope Beach.
Hello, my friends. I know that Laura's talking, but I have no idea how to make this happen without stopping her from talking. Really quick, while I'm here, I'm going in and out. That's why we're doing this simulcast, so you guys have someone to talk to and vent to. But while I'm here, every time I come in, I'm going to try to show you something. And there's something that I think maybe you haven't seen, and it was actually Laura's video that she put up on Political Drain. And I thought maybe you would enjoy seeing it because it seems to be extremely relevant to what's happening right now. Give me a second here, guys. I'm going to show this. I'm going to get right back on. Laura, if you're talking, I can't hear you. That's on purpose because every time I try, there's double things going. There's like 15 of us talking at the same time. So I'm hoping that this works a little better. You guys check this one out. You'll not be disappointed as usual.
Not to alarm you, but it's almost bikini season, and that's why I'm starting to loomy now. Overgrown.
Yeah, if his own Democratic leaders think he's incapable of being president, isn't that going to raise doubts in voters' minds? So, you have this vicious cycle. And then you say, see, he's going down in the polls. We have to get rid of him, when the very thing you're doing is pushing him down in the polls.
Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying your weekend. Thanks for coming to our live TGIF last night. And as usual, we had more topics than we had time to cover. But we did cover the worst of the worst women of the RNC. Well, Bruce ripped MTG for a while, and we had a few others too. But today I want to talk about some of the women of the Democrat Party with all of this, all of these calls for Biden to step down from the establishment Dems and some people running for re-election, nervous about their seats and their districts. And of course, there's the money drying up from the donors because of many reasons, and along with not wanting to pay more taxes and so on, and regulations, etc. As usual, the Democrats are nervous Nellies, and they should have, if they were going to have this conversation, should have had it long ago. And after the debate performance, which everybody's admitted it wasn't his best, and he had a cold, and now he's come down with COVID, and people are even more freaked out. But they're listening to these donor class, and they're ignoring the will of the voters at their peril, of the 14 million who already voted for Biden as the nominee. There's been a lot of pushback from several groups of women, including 14,000 now, I think, Black women have signed on to a letter saying why they want Biden to stay in the race, and that the chaos it would cause now for organizing and their voting registration pushes and everything. It's why are you doing this? And then there's the internal dispute over whether they're going to actually give Kamala the nomination. And they keep saying things like, well, we don't want a coronation, we want a competition. Well, whatever the hell that means. What do you mean by coronation? Heather McGhee wrote an opinion in the New York Times that talks about this. What do you mean coronation? It's absolutely normal for the vice president to be the one if should Biden not be able to or decides not to keep campaigning, which as of today he has said he's still staying in the race, and he plans trips to Georgia and Texas next week. So after that RNC failure, worst ratings ever. Boring, horrible, crazy, insanity, RNC. We've had some time to reflect on, hey, can Biden beat this guy? Answer, yes. We've already had the input from election predictor Professor Alan Lichtman, who's correctly predicted, well, 9 out of 10, but really 10 out of 10 of the last 10 elections since the 80s. The one that he was supposedly incorrect about was the Al Gore-Bush dispute. So he was actually correct 10 out of 10 times. And he still says Biden is the one to beat Trump.
All of this is one debate. He had the NATO summit after that. An hour and 9 minutes he stood on that stage with no teleprompter, answered hostile, difficult questions with knowledge, precision, understanding. Could Donald Trump have done that for 10 minutes without devolving into rants about shark attacks and Hannibal Lecter and being electrocuted? Not on your life. None of these critics have any track record of predicting elections, nor do they have any idea of what dementia and senility really represent. Now,
Here we go. So this guy says the plan B would be for Biden to resign for the good of the country, not because he wants him to, but simply to make Kamala Harris the president, as it is. Resign from the presidency, make Kamala Harris the president. As the president, she would be the incumbent, as well as, more than likely, stop all the bull crap about who's going to be next. There would be kind of no choice at that point because she would be the president. That's his plan B. I think it's a good plan. There's not much more that Biden can do because as of this moment, he's a lame duck president. A lame duck president means someone who cannot run again. And so the last bit that he can do is things like pardons and executive orders because nothing can stop him from doing that. But nobody's going to pass any bills because they know he has no more power left. So he's a lame duck president. Might as well make Kamala the president. That's what he says. I think it's an all right idea. I don't know if that will ever happen. But number two, for those wondering, will Kamala be the next nominee? Will they pick her? I wish they would. But later on in this video, this is what we got from AOC, which gave us really good insight.
It shows weakness. And here AOC talks about what's really behind all this, and it's not good.
I'm going to say what a lot of these folks aren't saying. I'm just going to say it. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken. I'm going to say that because if they're going to come out and say all their little things on background off the record, but they're not going to be fully honest, I'm going to be honest for them. And came out and said that they're absolutely preparing legal challenges to wherever it's possible. And I want to tell you, those legal challenges are most viable where? In the same handful of swing seats that are needed to win the presidency. I'm here to tell you that a huge amount of the donor class and a huge amount of these elites and a huge amount of these folks in these rooms that I see that are pushing for President Biden to not be the nominee also are not interested in seeing the vice president being the nominee. Will they win out on that? I don't know. But I am here to tell you, do not take that for granted.
And there you have it.
Do not take that outcome for granted. And I have said.
So that's what she says. It doesn't mean it's 100% true. I think Alan Lichtman's idea of President Biden resigning to ensure that Vice President Harris becomes President Harris cures a lot of that disease. I'd love to know what you guys think. I'll be in and out again as usual. And the great Laura Malcolm will be running the live chat, getting everybody's opinion, letting you guys vent. Whenever I come back, I'll be showing you little clips like this of either the latest news, conferences, or things I think you should see, like that commercial, which is Harris versus Trump. So, get at it. Talk about it. Vote blue, no matter who, but talk about it.
Say, heard Kamala is considering Gretchen for VP. Yeah. I'd like that. I can't think of anyone else. Kamala and Schiff? God, no. Kamala and Gavin? To California. Sorry. And who else the fuck is there? I heard someone say Jasmine Crockett. I don't know. No, I like her where she is. Thanks. Raskin? I mean, what? I would like Pete Buttigieg too, P-dubs. Very much so. Kamala and Pete, but would that be too much? A black or mixed race woman and a gay man? I mean, that's progressive as hell. And some people are even saying Bernie. Like, ouch. No, thank you. Whitmer or Buttigieg are, to me, the best two. Governor Shapiro? Some have been talking about Josh Shapiro. Yeah, Mike, Biden's in the same light as Carter, LBG, and who's Cincinnatus? I'm sorry. Pritzker? I don't know Pritzker. Lee says, wow, 2 women in the White House. That would be interesting, but I'm not sure that the U.S. is ready for that. Well, half the U.S. isn't. Definitely. Where men vote for a woman, never mind of color. Yeah, we just got. Let's see. I missed the first part of Benny's message. The chat on this platform sometimes just gives me top chat. I can't switch to live. Roman dude? Well, I kind of figured that with a name like Cincinnatus, but I'm not familiar with him. Let me look him up. Cincinnatus. Probably the origin of the name Cincinnati. Lucius Quintius Cincinnatus was a Roman patrician, statesman, and military leader of the early Roman Republic who became a legendary figure of Roman virtue, particularly civic virtue. Okay. The model citizen of ancient Rome. American. Oh, yeah, okay. Cincinnatus' son Caesar was an openly violent opponent. Okay. Interesting. Thank you. I'm a white dude and I'll vote for her. Hey Sonia, over on Bruce's channel, and Anne, how you doing? You're bouncing back and forth, or are you staying here? Anne would love Pete too. Yeah, well, I don't know why people keep bringing Michelle Obama into it. Like, I don't know where that comes from. She has always presented that she has no interest at all. And if you think 2 women and one of them being mixed race would be a unwinnable ticket, then 2 black women would be even worse. And Obama's wife, that there's a lot of Democrats who are not fond of Obama. I don't know if they'd go for Michelle. I don't know. I just don't see that realistically as being a good choice to bring Michelle Obama in, even if she was interested. Like, what really bothers me is that who would be best at international affairs? Who would be able to, talk with these high stake things with NATO and with Israel and Ukraine? Who's best suited for that part of being president? It's not just about running your country, it's about running the goddamn world. Pretty much. Pedo says, are some white men using the blood too? Yes. Mike says, who's LMTV points bet with Wes Moore for VP? Who the hell is Wes Moore? I feel really now I feel like I need to relearn everything. Wes Moore, Governor of Maryland. Okay. But still, I really hate to say it, but 2 people of color on a ticket. Okay, Governor Westmore's weighs in on presidential. Like Maryland Governor Westmore is seen as a possible presidential candidate. Thanks, Biden, but stops short of endorsing Harris. So, I don't know. A lot of people are stopping short of endorsing Kamala. not even mentioning her name in some cases. Oh, yeah, easily Kamala would trounce him in a debate. That's not, I mean, that's a given. One little goddamn cold and over prep, who knows? One 90-minute event that was not even a debate. Well, we've beaten that horse to death, obviously. Beaten that horse right out of the race. And it's Pritzker, governor of Illinois. Pritzker. J.B. Pritz. Ooh. I look at him and I go, ooh, I'm sorry. Not to be so shallow, but Joe Biden has ended his re-election campaign. What that means for J.B. Pritzker's political future. While Pritzker has emphatically expressed his support of Biden, he's also not quashed the narrative that he has White House ambitions. Oh, Lord. Democratic President Joe Biden's historic decision to end his re-election campaign puts Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker's political future back on a possible track towards the presidential ticket in November. Biden announced in a statement Sunday afternoon that he would stand down from seeking re-election and endorsed Kamala Harris to replace him. Pritzker has been a top surrogate and an attack dog for Biden, sticking by Biden despite his disastrous debate performance. Ranked among a handful of leading contenders to replace Biden at the top of the ticket, or possibly in light of endorsement of Harris running as a mate to the new nominee. 59 years old, billionaire governor, now midway into his second term, has never outright said he's aiming to follow in Barack Obama's footsteps and have 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue become his official residence, but he has done nothing to quash that narrative either. Amid signs he may envision a more impactful political role for himself than being Springfield's most powerful Democrat. In 22, Pritzker began putting himself on the national political map, headlining Democratic Party functions in Florida and New Hampshire. This month, Pritzker was in Indiana and Ohio. Out-of-state political forays like that often represent a first step aspiring national candidates make to introduce themselves to party stalwarts they'll need later. Nonetheless, at the time Pritzker professed a presidential bid was not on his mind. I have no interest in challenging Joe Biden in 24. I will support him if he runs for re-election. I'm a Democrat. I believe that we need to elect a Democrat, and I think Joe Biden is already. As Biden's fortunes continued to tank, Pritzker's public endorsement of the president grew increasingly tepid, filled with qualifying language. I'm supporting the nominee of the Democratic Party. That right now is our President Joe Biden. I went to Ohio and Indiana last weekend to campaign for President Biden and Vice President Harris, and I'm going to continue to do that. He's apparently going to be our nominee. He's chosen to be our nominee. So we got to win because the alternative is unacceptable. Recently, his name got thrown into the mix of possible Biden successors by Hollywood icon and top Democratic fundraiser George Clooney. We can easily foresee a group of several strong Democrats stepping forward to stand and tell us why they're best qualified to lead this country and take on some of the deeply concerning trends we're seeing from the revenge tour that Donald Trump calls a presidential campaign, Clooney wrote. Let's hear from Wes Moore and Kamala Harris and Gretchen Whitmer and Gavin Newsom and Andy Beshear and J.B. Pritzker and others. If the party eschewed Biden's endorsement of Harris or anointed Pritzker as the vice presidential nominee, Pritzker could often offer certain advantages. Democrats would have a potential nominee with a proven track record in Illinois that closely aligns with the national party priorities. Governors strengthen abortion rights in Illinois, abortion right laws. banned assault weapons after the mass shooting in Highland Park. He championed green energy initiatives. He's stabilizing Illinois' finances, leading to 9 credit upgrades. U.S. Rep. Brad Schneider, one of 4 members of the state Democratic congressional delegation to call on Biden to step aside, said the party's bench is broader and includes several qualified potential successors to Biden, including Pritzker. I think he'd be great. Look what he's done for the state, how he's helped get the state back on his feet, balanced our budget, and strengthened our economy, Schneider told WBEZ. Pritzker also has been a blazing critic of Trump's and was among the first to make Trump's felony convictions in New York disqualifying. In June, Pritzker called Trump a convicted felon, educated rapist, congenital liar, racist, sexist, misogynistic, narcissistic, who wants to use the levers of power to enrich himself and punish anyone who dares speak a word against him. Yeah, we all know that. Pritzker, as he did in his 2 campaigns for governor, could pour enormous resources from his family fortune into a federal race, another potential strength. Yeah. Forbes estimates the governor's wealth at $3.5 billion, placing him among the top 1,000 wealthiest people in the world. But several potentially decisive factors work against Pritzker in a possible presidential campaign as a possible candidate, starting with some of Harris's built-in advantages. Vice president should be the highest-ranking Democrat in the field, with Biden stepping aside. Her status as a woman of color could appeal to the core party constituencies and enable her to zero in on Trump for his role in appointing Supreme Court justices who vastly curtailed rights. Plus, as a former prosecutor, Harris could attack Trump's status as a convicted lawbreaker. Moreover, Pritzker presides over a safely Democratic state rather than a battleground state that Democrats must deliver to retain control of the White House. That reality means Pritzker would not easily expand the party's reach into those crucial states. And finally, Pritzker lags behind other potential Biden successors in popularity, despite his efforts to build name recognition outside Illinois. And I was reading from the Chicago Sun-Times that was published today. Anybody wants to read it, here's the link. Okay, we're waiting and looking forward to seeing your face, Bruce. And the Arizona astronaut husband of Gabby Giffords. Yeah, Mark Kelly, yeah. He's got some name recognition. I don't know, Pritzker.
When you're assault tried
that corporate damn billionaire class bill, and he's got some good things in his background going for him, but I don't trust him. I mean, just immediate instinct looking at him, and it's not because he's like overweight and not particularly a chiseled and handsome dude, but there's something about that I do not trust, and I do go on instinct, and it's quite often right. So who's Mark Kelly? Biden exit. Western North Carolina Democrats back Harris and Governor Cooper or Arizona Senator Mark Kelly. Who is Mark Kelly? All about the U.S. Okay, this is from Austin American Statesman. Who is Mark Kelly? All about the U.S. Okay, well, go away. Who? All about the U.S. Senator from Arizona and Gabrielle Giffords' husband. For his part, Kelly has repeatedly called for voters to stick with Biden and Harris. The goal here is to re-elect Biden. He told Roll Call earlier this month. What I can tell you from my personal experience with public polling, it's not entirely accurate, and urged them to stay in the ticket. Here's what you need to know about him. Who is Mark Kelly? He's been in the Senate since the 2020 elections and is a man whose life story seems to have several elements that would be the biggest part of most people's biography. He was a Navy combat pilot He was an astronaut. So was his twin brother Scott. His wife survived being shot in the head. He's the author of several books and one of the wealthier members of the Senate. Grew up in West Orange, New Jersey, to parents who both worked as police officers. He's 60 years old. Married to former U.S. Rep. Gabby Giffords. They met on a U.S.-China trade mission. Married in 2007. Time of their wedding, he was still an astronaut. Kelly and Giffords formed an organization now called Giffords that advocates for what they describe as common sense gun regulations. Kelly emerged as a national spokesperson on the issue for years ahead of his career in politics. He has 2 adult daughters. Got a bachelor's degree with highest honors in marine engineering and nautical science. Master's degree in aeronautical engineering. Navy fighter pilot during Desert Storm, stationed on the USS Midway, from which he flew 39 missions. In his military career, he received numerous medals, including the Defense Superior Service Medal, Legion of Merit, 2 Distinguished Flying Crosses, and multiple air medals, and retired as a captain. In '96, Kelly and his brother Scott were shuttle pilots, flew his first shuttle mission in 2001, second in 2006, third in 2008, final mission in 2011. He and NASA decided to keep him as commander of the team after his wife Gabby traveled from Houston, where she was recovering from her injuries, to Florida. 3 weeks after returning to Earth, Kelly announced he would retire from NASA later that week, citing his wife's medical needs. How did Kelly get into politics? First entered politics in 2019 when he announced he was running for the Senate in 2020. Special election to complete the final 2 years of the term, Senator McCain won. When McCain passed away from brain cancer, he was appointed by Doug Ducey. Doug Ducey appointed temporary replacement. Okay. Kelly defeated McSally by 2 percentage points in 2020. Then he had the unusual task of running for re-election in 2022 for a full 6-year term. Defeated Republican Mike Masters for a term that won't end until after 2028. So he's got a long time in front of him in the Senate. He was willing to set aside the legislative filibuster to pass a voting rights bill. Said it was needed to preserve a foundational right when it was under attack. At the same time, Kelly has advocated military aid to Ukraine and Israel in their ongoing wars and has shown support for Taiwan as tensions in China, and then criticized the Biden administration for allowing the southern border to become a crisis, voted to pass bipartisan border security the bill this year. That measure failed after. Kelly helped shape the CHIPS and Science Act. Kelly has an evident interest in foreign affairs, is a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee and Joint Economic Committee. Background in science also makes him an advocate for mitigating climate change. What are Kelly's controversies? Republicans hit Kelly in 2020 as beholden to China, citing capital funding from a Chinese technology company, a Chinese technology company used to help Worldview Enterprises, a company Kelly co-founded, up and running in Tucson. That company uses balloons for launching lower altitude stratollates for commercial and government mapping and surveillance. Its clients have included NASA and Pentagon. Yeah, this guy is looking better than that Pritzker guy in a lot of ways, but I don't know, we'll see. Among the early investors in Worldview was Tencent Holdings, a Chinese company that operates a popular messaging app in the country that has close working ties to the government in Beijing. Kelly dismissed concerns that Beijing had undue influence on him at the time, and his rhetoric on China in the years since suggests a willingness to buck Beijing. It's an odd form of. Anyway, in 2023, for example, Kelly was part of a bipartisan group that met with Taiwan's president during her visit to the U.S. He visited the island later that year as part of an Arizona trade delegation. He told the Arizona Republic that America's close trade relations with Taipei and the growth of semiconductor manufacturing in Arizona are an irritant to Beijing. My sense is this is something the Chinese are not in favor of, this economic relationship that we have with Taiwan, but that's not up to them. Also, in 2020, he apologized for a joke he made about the effects of a year in space on his brother to the Boy Scouts of America. Oh dear. It says, it's gotten so bad that we recently had to release him back into the wild, Kelly said to Laughter. He's like halfway between an orangutan and a howler monkey. We've even changed his name to Rodrigo. He lives in the woods. My brother's year in space was really hard on him, and we tried to bring some light to his difficult ordeal, but this comment does not do that, and I apologize and deeply regret it. Okay. Why is he being considered for the ticket? Kelly seems to possess something the Democrats desperately need now, strength and vitality. He flew 39 missions, military and space chops, give him credibility with an unusually wide audience. Beyond that, Kelly is a reliable Democrat who casts himself as an independent thinker who ran as a centrist in 2020. Kelly that year won on a message of partisan independence, science-based decision-making, affordable health care, and insurance coverage for pre-existing medical conditions against the backdrop of a lethal pandemic. Okay, that's that about him. Bill says, while we're busy picking Kamala as VP, you seriously doubt she'll be the nominee? Seems like the apparatchik will decide for us, so why speculate? Bruce! Nope. Not on screen yet. Bruce is going to show us Luke Beasley's video.
Of the decision that Joe Biden just announced, President Joe Biden, that he will not be running for re-election any longer. We discussed that in a different segment. It's quite the decision, historic, and he has had an extremely successful presidency. And even with that, he's deciding to place the country above himself, believing this is the best path to defeating Trump. And for that, he should get much credit. And something fun is happening now that he's endorsed Kamala Harris, which is, you're going to see. But first, good attacks of hers against Trump back when she was running for the Democratic nomination for president in 2020 are being recirculated. So I have a fantastic resurfaced ad of hers that gives a sense of what a Kamala Harris versus Trump matchup would look like in terms of messaging on the Democratic side. And then the other thing, and I'll show you a video that's just brutal that was reposted, is attacking Trump over his age and his cognitive situation. No longer can an attack be levied at the Democratic side, so it makes the attack against Trump about his brain turning to mush that much more effective. But it's also funny because people are immediately posting. For example, before getting to this Kamala Harris video, David Pagman said, is the oldest presidential nominee in American history, Donald Trump, really what this country needs right now? Which is, it's funny, okay? Because you can just see the shift post this announcement from Biden. But before going into the brain-related things, here's an ad that Kamala Harris's campaign put out during the 2020 election, again, when she was running for that Democratic nomination for president. And it does get me pretty pumped. I do want to say that I understand she's not the official nominee yet. I'm just, from my understanding of the Democratic Party, I'm just pretty certain now that Biden's endorsed her and called for unity, the people, I'm sure some voters will say, no, we want an open convention. I'm already hearing that. We want to pick somebody else. But I don't think any of the prominent people who presumably could challenge Kamala Harris for the nomination are going to want that for the party or the country. And I'm sure the Gavin Newsoms, the Gretchen Whitmers, the Josh Shapiros, etc. will probably unite around Kamala Harris pretty quickly. That's just my speculation. So that's why we're going down this road so immediately. But this is a fantastic ad.
Sick of this? Well, think about this. He's a world leader in temper tantrums. She never loses her cool. She prosecuted sex predators. He is one.
Grab him by the...
She shut down for-profit colleges that swindled Americans. He was a for-profit college.
At Trump University, we teach success.
Literally. He's owned by the big banks. She's the attorney general who beat the biggest banks in America and forced them to pay homeowners $18 billion. He's tearing us apart. She'll bring us together. This is Trump. And in every possible way, this is the anti-Trump. So if that's what you're looking for in your next president, there's really only one. Kamala.
There it is. Don't tell me that doesn't get you pretty ready to go out there and explain to people that contrast. And that was made before Trump became a convicted felon, a civilly liable rapist, an insurrectionist, etc. By the way, you had Adam on X posting this, prosecutor versus convicted felon. Kamala Harris having that prosecutorial background really adds to that contrast. John Idarola said, it's just too good. Donald Trump's accelerating brain rot is about to look even worse. And I'm just saying Trump should be going to the restroom where he shouldn't, okay, in his pants, over this matchup, if indeed it plays out to be this. Again, it's all happening now. So I don't know how certain logistically it is. It feels certain. If that changes, we'll do more discussion about what contentious, open primary or convention would look like. But right now it seems party leaders would unite around Kamala Harris. So that's why I'm going under that assumption. And Trump should be terrified of going up against her in general and on a debate stage. And that I'm really looking forward to. And we're already seeing in the reactions.
Okay, guys, I was told that you couldn't hear my audio for that whole time, so we're going to play that again if you don't mind. If you haven't seen it, we're about to make it happen. Here we go.
In the wake of the decision that Joe Biden just announced, President Joe Biden, that he will not be running for re-election any longer. We discussed that in a different segment. It's quite the decision, historic, and he has had an extremely successful presidency. And even with that, he's deciding to place the country above himself, believing this is the best path to defeating Trump. And for that, he should get much credit. And something fun is happening now that he's endorsed Kamala Harris, which is, you're going to see. But first, good attacks of hers against Trump back when she was running for the Democratic nomination for president in 2020. are being recirculated. So I have a fantastic resurfaced ad of hers that gives a sense of what a Kamala Harris versus Trump matchup would look like in terms of messaging on the Democratic side. And then the other thing, and I'll show you a video that's just brutal that was reposted, is attacking Trump over his age and his cognitive situation. No longer can an attack be levied at the Democratic side, so it makes the attack against Trump about his brain turning to mush that much more effective. But it's also funny because people are immediately posting. For example, before getting to this Kamala Harris video, David Pagman said, "Is the oldest presidential nominee in American history, Donald Trump, really what this country needs right now?" Which is, it's funny, okay? Because you can just see the shift post this announcement from Biden. But before going into the brain-related things, here's an ad that Kamala Harris's campaign put out during the 2020 election, again, when she was running for that Democratic nomination for president. And it does get me pretty pumped. I do want to say that I understand she's not the official nominee yet. I'm just, from my understanding of the Democratic Party, I'm just pretty certain now that Biden's endorsed her and called for unity, the people, I'm sure some voters will say, no, we want an open convention. I'm already hearing that. We want to pick somebody else. But I don't think any of the prominent people who presumably could challenge Kamala Harris for the nomination are going to want that for the party or the country. And I'm sure the Gavin Newsoms, the Gretchen Whitmers, the Josh Shapiros, etc. will probably unite around Kamala Harris pretty quickly. That's just my speculation. So that's why we're going down this road so immediately. But this is a fantastic ad.
Sick of this? Well, think about this. He's a world leader in temper tantrums. She never loses her cool. She prosecuted sex predators. He is one.
Grab him by the...
She shut down for-profit colleges that swindled Americans. He was a for-profit college.
At Trump University, we teach success.
Literally. He's owned by the big banks. She's the attorney general who beat the biggest banks in America and forced them to pay homeowners $18 billion. He's tearing us apart. She'll bring us together. This is Trump. And in every possible way, this is the anti-Trump. So if that's what you're looking for in your next president, there's really only one. Kamala.
There it is. Don't tell me that doesn't get you pretty ready to go out there and explain to people that contrast. And that was made before Trump became a convicted felon, a civilly liable rapist, an insurrectionist, etc. By the way, you had Adam on X posting this, prosecutor versus convicted felon. Kamala Harris having that prosecutorial background really adds to that contrast. John Idarola said, it's just too good. Donald Trump's accelerating brain rot is about to look even worse. And I'm just saying Trump should be going to the restroom where he shouldn't, okay, in his pants, over this matchup, if indeed it.
Here's the deal, people. I'll probably be turning on my camera soon, be joining the great Laura Malcolm, but I wanted you to see this for a number of reasons, because news is important, but also it's getting really bleak out there. It's getting really bleak. Everybody's defeated, and trust me, you guys know my rants. I go on and on. I understand it, but I'm here to tell you that the point of what we do here is also to remind you that we don't do just what CNN and MSNBC does, right? We're going to focus on the things that matter, and the things that matter, of course, we want Kamala in there. Of course, there's reasons that we wanted Biden. It's not going to happen, but it's not over, because there's another person in the race who's a billion times worse than whoever gets picked. And I wanted to show you that here.
Do it. Jaden over there is forcing me to do it. So I'm going to have to play this for you. And it's talking about the brain of Trump, which all of a sudden is seeming to become much more of a discussion.
And my stupid people, when I wanted to refute it, they said, "Sir, don't dignify it with a rebuttal."
Have you been noticing peculiar behavior recently in someone you know?
Carried out by Ray,
Someone who mixes fiction and reality?
the late great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Perhaps someone of advanced age you have known for years.
Did you just see Maduro, Venezuela? It's unbelievable, Venezuela.
Of course, we all have our goofs. But consistently odd behavior can be a sign of frontotemporal dementia, a degenerative disease of the frontal and temporal lobes of the brain that dramatically impairs cognitive function. And there are some key signs to look out for, like slurring words.
The failing New York Times by really anonymous.
Struggling to find the correct words is another sign.
The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges of the investigation.
Yeah. You may also notice someone veering into incoherent ideas, detached from reality.
You know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark.
Or an inability to complete simple sentences.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat.
Other notable symptoms include impaired motor function, such as a wavering limb, and decreased balance, often accompanied by a signature lean or arched stance. If someone you know is demonstrating several or all of these symptoms, they are seriously unwell. As a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities and disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease.
Right, so you get it.
Lean stance. If someone you know is demonstrating as a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities, disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative disease.
So you get it.
Lean. If someone you know is demonstrating as a matter of safety, they must be relieved of critical responsibilities, disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative.
So you get it.
Lean. If someone you know is demonstrating they must be relieved of critical responsibilities, disqualified from any position of authority. Remember, frontotemporal dementia is a degenerative.
So you get it.
If someone you know is
Okay, you got my face back here. And Bruce is going to be joining us in a minute. Yeah, well, Benny, I know. I have a nervous laugh. I can't help it. It's just default, you know. Kamala released a statement, and Tyler Cohen has it. On CNN. Back here. This is going to be joining us in a minute. Yeah. Oh, it was me. I was playing. too many tabs open. Okay, sorry about that. And okay, so you said the BTC has it. Okay. From Kamala Harris. Okay, hang on.
Harris. Kamala herself has now issued a statement that has rocked the political world. Quote, on behalf of the American people, I thank Joe Biden for his leadership as President of the United States and for his decades of service to our country, his legacy of accomplishment matched in modern American history, surpassed of many presidents who have 2 terms in office. I'm honored to serve as Vice President, and I am deeply grateful to the President, Biden, and the entire Biden. I first came to know President Biden through his son, Beau. We were friends from our days working together as attorneys general of our home states. As we worked together, he would tell me stories about his dad, the kind of father and the kind of man he was, and the qualities Beau revered in his father are the same qualities, the same values I have seen every single day in Joe's leadership as president, and integrity, his and commitment to his faith and his family, and his love of our country and the American people. With this selfless, patriotic act, President Biden is doing what he has done throughout his life of service, putting the American people and our country above anything else. I am honored to have the President's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win the nation. Over the past year, I traveled across the country, talking with Americans about the clear choice in this momentous election, and this is what I will continue in the days and weeks ahead. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and our nation to defeat Donald Trump and his extreme Project 2025 agenda. We have 107 days until Election Day. Together we will fight, and together we will win. All to say, Kamala's in. And it's not just she's now officially filed to run for president, and she has the over $100 million Biden-Harris war chest at full disposal, meaning this race is official, and she's going to be the Democratic nominee. She'll have the funds to ensure that every American knows the stakes of this election. The left has wasted zero time coalescing Kamala Harris, backing up by a minute. Pelosi, Clyburn, the Clintons, Emily List, Congressional Black Caucus, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and probably 100 people in groups by the time you watch this. And if you want to know why the surge in enthusiasm, well, here's the ad that she ran in 2020 that may be especially effective against Donald Trump in particular.
Second, well, think about this. He's a world leader in temper tantrum. She never loses her cool. She prosecutes predators. He is one. She shut down for profit. This one of Americans. He was a knowledge.
Trump University keeps success.
Literally, he's owned by the big bank.